Hello everyone, you've just listened to the first flipped collaborate for the A3 case study. So you've understood the task. This video is going to help you to analyze the case study, the scenario, and help you how to write the assignment. So we're in assignment 3, case study. You're going to go through the assignment details on your own. So those are all the steps that you're going to complete, but I thought we'd look at the scenario together. Okay, so in week 8, you're going to analyse the scenario. You're going to share your ideas with your ELA and your learning group. And then later on in week 10, you're going to share these ideas with your own teammates to write part 1. Okay, so we need to analyze the scenario and look at what is not working here. So it's quite a brief scenario. This is your opportunity to demonstrate your understanding of theory and how it applies in the learning environment. So this is a really concise and precise scenario. If you think of it this way, that all of the elements that have been included here have been included for a reason. So when you look at each of these, you're going to consider them about what is not working in the scenario, but also these details will help you when you're writing the new improved scenario in part 4. Okay, so let's go through it together. In a foundation classroom, the teacher schedules time in the day where the children are seated at shared tables of 6 to complete their lessons, and other times when they can select play-based learning activities and work on the floor or at smaller tables. These activities include materials such as construction sets, card games, drawing, and numeracy and literacy loose parts. The teacher takes this time to support some of the children who need additional learning support with the lesson. Grace, Chi, and Priyanka are 3 friends. They are effective learners, but sometimes avoid some of the other children, especially during play activities. Priyanka's mother has informed the teacher that she is being bullied at this time by some of the other children. The teacher is surprised by this information and considers the option for improving the situation. Okay, so as I said, it's not terribly detailed. When you are working with the scenario, it's important that you don't extrapolate or make up more details. Just use what is here, and that will be key. You don't want to come up with different ideas or additional elements that are going on. Just use the details that are here. So what are the details? We have a foundation classroom. So right off the bat, we know something about these students. We know that they are early in their learning. We know an age range for them. We know that they are early in their journey in this sort of structured learning environment. So the structured learning classroom would be quite new to them. We know a little bit about them just because of their age range. Automatically, if you think sort of developmentally, we know something about the way they learn, the way they interact, the way they socialize, the way they play, the way they communicate. So having that sort of perspective will really help you here. A key of this assignment is addressing the stakeholders. So we're looking at what's not working in the scenario for all of the stakeholders. We're also looking at who these stakeholders are when we rewrite the scenario for it to be improved. So who are the stakeholders? So we've got a foundation classroom, so we've got all of those students. We have a teacher. We have some named students. So we have Grace, Chi, and Priyanka. We have Priyanka's mother. But we also have the parents and families of not just these students, but all of the children in the classroom. And of course, they are a part of a wider school. So when you're thinking about the stakeholders, you really need to have that wide sort of thinking about who those stakeholders are. Okay, so we know a little bit about what the physical environment looks like. So consider that when you are looking at what's not working, and also when you rewrite your scenario. So we know what the physical setup of the room is. We know a little bit about how some of the lessons go. We've got some more structured lessons and then some less structured time when the teacher is present but assisting specific students. And what else do we know? We know that these friends here, Grace, Chi and Priyanka, so they're friends. We know they're effective learners, but sometimes they avoid some of the other children, especially during play activities. We also know that there has been a report of bullying from Priyanka's mother. And obviously the teacher wants to improve the situation. So just have a little think about what we know about the students, because they are in a foundation classroom. Some of the skills that they are still developing, maybe some social skills, maybe some communication skills, maybe some play skills, because at times where there's a little bit less structure and it's play-based, we have some friends who are a little bit challenged. They might avoid some of these activities. Okay, so remember that you'll be completing the analysis along with your ELA in your learning group in week 8, and then you'll share these ideas with your team in week 10. Okay, some other elements that are going to help you with this assignment. So we're back in our Padlet. So you've already listened to the first flipped recording and you're in the second. We're going to have our brainstorm session. We're going to help you out with Q&A opportunities. We've got the brainstorm slides in there. One of the elements that's going to help you a lot is our tip sheet. So how do you actually write this? So I have taken elements from the assignment details and considered the criteria and marking descriptors and created this. So use this if you would like to. Please do remember to use in-text citations throughout your assignment. So that's in every section, and you're going to include a reference list, of course. Okay, so this is a bit like I helped you out with in A2. So this is just showing the section of the assignment. So the text in green is the team and purple is the solo elements. Who does it, what they need to do, and some wording to help you out here. So remember in week 8, so we're going to analyze the scenario in 250 words. Going to come up with some ideas and share them with your learning group, and skipping over in week 10 you're going to share these with your own teammates. So you're looking at what concerns are there, so those are your stakeholders and the factors that are influencing it. We know that you only have 250 words, so just identify the key elements, and here's some wording that will assist you just to get going with that. Again, please don't fill your assignment with these. We just know that it can be helpful to give you some wording to head in the right direction. So you might include something like, our team have collaboratively identified several key issues affecting the learning environment and functioning of the classroom, such as, and include those key elements in your 250 words. In part 2, this is where you're going to research your own theory, and you've got 400 words to include these elements here. And key to this is going to be looking at the benefits and limitations of your scenario, and there's some wording to get you going there. So please make use of those in part 3, the reason the benefits and limitations is important is because in part 3, this is where you come together and you decide which is the best fit. Again, make sure you're being terribly respectful of your teammates when you decide which one fits best, and that's the one you're going to use to rewrite the scenario. Remember, there's no right, there's no wrong theory here. There's some wording to help you, but that's why the benefits and limitations are going to help you, because you're going to see, oh, you know, where does this really work and where does this theory really sort of fall short, and will it help this specific classroom? Part 4, you've got 300 words to write your new scenario. Remember I mentioned that we know something about the physical setup of the room. We know a little bit about their daily routine. We sort of know that they're at tables of 6 for their more traditional, typical types of lessons, and then we have this period of time where there's a little bit less structure and the students can move around the room. So include all of that when you write your new scenario. So there's your wording there. You're going to spend 300 words reflecting on your the learning that you've had. So you could reflect on being a team member in the assignment. You can reflect on your own learning in the unit. You can reflect on how your understanding has changed. So I used to think that, now I view learning as, and include that there. So you are going to complete this with third person academic style writing, except for this part. This is where you can go into that first person, reflecting on my own learning in this unit. So that's the only little element where you might move into first person. That would be applicable. And then part 6, which is your appendix. So you're going to present the evidence, the best evidence you have of your own collaboration. So you're going to show us how you have been flexible and accommodating. We know that people work early, people work late, people have families, and they care for big people and little people and everyone in between, and you're going to have to be really flexible and understanding when you find times to work together. If you're going to catch up live, or if you're going to say, okay, every week by Wednesday night we need someone to have contributed to this element, we really want you to show your flexibility there. So you've got 2 pages. Let me show you what an appendix can look like, and screenshots are sufficient. So let me show you over here. This is an example of an appendix. So for this student, they agreed on, okay, this is the dates. They followed the timeline. They decided to meet up to discuss part 1 and part 3. It might be more efficient for you to meet up once and share all your ideas. You can choose that, whatever suits you best. And then some text here just to show what a lovely and positive team member this person has been. So you can see, you can just take screenshots, and I really recommend that when you are collaborating with your team, if you're on WhatsApp or Zoom or Google Doc, just take snips of everything, and it's really easy then in week 11 just to put together 2 pages that really demonstrates what a great team member you've been. So that's in our Padlet. The other thing I wanted to show you is this question comes up a lot. Does only one team member submit for the team? No. When submitting, all team members have to submit their own single document. And just remember that your reference list has to include everything that's in your assignment. Part 1 and part 3 will be identical to your team. So any information that you've used, any references, make sure you share with your teammates, because that will need to go in their reference list, which is popped just before the appendix. That's me done, everyone. If you've got any questions, please let your ELA know. Do attend the live sessions or listen to the recordings because they will help you greatly. All the best, everyone. Bye.